Tuesday.
Yes.
Cool. All right, how's it going, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Nick Marro, DFS here with DFS Jayhawk, otherwise known as the Knicks at Night, here for Occupy Fantasy, helping you break down the NBA DFS main slates on both DraftKings and FanDuel. We got an 8-gamer tonight on both sites. FanDuel and DraftKings did us the courtesy of aligning for once, so we don't have to worry about the late games. A lot to talk about today, though. It was funny. Smitty and I were off early yesterday, like 10 minutes early, because we only had the 4 games. There wasn't a ton of news. But today, we're probably going to be right up against the clock, Jayhawk. How you feel about the slate going in here?
Yeah, Nick, we were kind of joking pre-stream because you and Smitty talked to Reese a little bit last night. I think we're going right back, I think, in tournaments in a somewhat better matchup. So excited to break this one down, Nick.
Yeah, to be fair, I wasn't super high on him. Tonight, we'll talk about it. I think we could get there. Shouts out to Angel Reese's brother. Shouts out to Ben getting in here early as well. Appreciate you, my man. We got Derek. Jose, hope I never see another day like yesterday. Everything failed. Yeah, let's get this money, man. The beautiful thing about NBA and MLB is the next day there's a new slate. So we are on to the next. Unicorn Love saying good evening, all. Money time indeed. Cards did well. Appreciate you, my man. Heath here saying what's up. And yeah, Unicorn got to Gonzo. That went well. Late downgrade for Ant Power. Already on point with the news. And Amari in here. Appreciate you, my man. But without further ado, we did just get the 545 injury report. I was kind of waiting to go live until we did. Jayhawk, let's dive in here. First game at 7 p.m. We're going to talk about Dallas taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Dallas, very extensive list of names that are out. No Marvin Bagley. Cisse is questionable. Flag is doubtful. Irving out. Lively out. Marshall out. Caleb Martin probable. Couple G Leaguers here listed as questionable. I can't pronounce their names. Clay Thompson is going to be doubtful. PJ Washington is back in and available. 228.5 point total here with Charlotte, favorite at home. Tricky spot. I will say Chris Middleton has been disappointing. The minutes have been there for him. You would think he'd see a big boost in usage with all these guys out. If Williams gets the start, I don't mind mixing him in a little bit here. But even with so many guys ruled out for this team, they're just kind of tough to get to. Gafford, cheap enough to maybe consider. We have other value centers on this slate. It's like, I don't think Dallas is bad. They are thin, but there's not really one play that's standing out to me. Jayhawk, how about you when it comes to the Mavericks?
Yeah, I think the Mavericks are kind of all correctly priced, like you mentioned, and I think I'd only like take stabs at these guys probably if I'm getting to like Charlotte players like Miller, Lamelo. So I think for me, the main plays Brandon Williams. I always have to shout him out, Nick. I think he's good in like a game stack here. Fine with getting to Middleton in tournaments, but I don't really love the value guys since we have so many other good value plays today. So it's mainly just the starters here from.
Yeah, and again, we always talk about in terms of DFS strategy on these bigger slates. If you're locking up value early, you're not going to be able to make pivot or late swap later, which kind of puts you at a disadvantage. So nothing here we're really prioritizing. On the other side of the ball, we do have the Hornets. No Kobe White tonight, kind of significant. Obviously, he's been coming off the bench playing limited minutes. You could always go to the big three here, quote unquote, of Ball, Canuple, not Bridges, Miller, excuse me. Bridges is kind of that tier below. His price is a tier below as well, though. Diabate has been playing pretty well. His minutes tend to fluctuate, but this is the type of matchup he should thrive in. I'm going to say Diabate probably my favorite Hornet here by a pretty wide margin. His ownership is down because there are a lot of good centers on the slate. I like him a lot. You can certainly make a case for Ball or Miller. Again, Canuble Bridge is fine as well. But to me, Diabate, like really, really appealing in tournaments. He's been getting there consistently. 4 of his last 5 games over 34 fantasy points with a very low usage rate in those games. So he doesn't need to do much on offense to hit value. So I like Diabate a lot here. Great matchup against Gafford, what's left of this Dallas front court. Jayhawk, how do you feel about the Hornets?
Yeah, first gonna say I love your call there with Diabate. Very soft matchup here. Front court should get a lot of rebounds for Diabate here, so love that shout out his price. And then I'm pretty much just getting to Miller here after Diabate. Not getting to too much Lamelo, so mainly Miller, some Diabate, and then I don't have any interest in your guy Miles Bridges here, Nick, at his price. So to me, it's
It's
just
the
Brandon
mock
Miller.
guy?
But no, I'm just
I
chilling.
feel like the 50 cent meme is. Yeah, I'm not a huge Bridges guy. I do think the price is like the last piece in. Okay, but yeah, I'm not really rushing to get there. Um, we got Dean Wade out. We got a few other guys jumping on the news here. Spaniard, appreciate you saying Carter is out. Flag and Clay cards. I think I mentioned Flag. I may have missed Clay. Doc, you got a question? Feel free to ask it, my man. We're both named Nick, though, so maybe we'll both answer it. My name says Nick above me, so maybe you're asking me. But let's go ahead and get into the next game here again. We got to make good time today. Detroit taking on Cleveland, two of the better teams in the East. Detroit, slight favorites here on the road. 227.5 point total is not bad. For Detroit, really no one significant out, just G Leaguers on the injury report today. And I always say, whenever a team's healthy on a slate with a lot of unhealthy teams, they're kind of tough to get to. Everyone's priced where they should be. You can make a case for Cunningham. I honestly don't love Duren here, even though he's been playing excellent just because of the matchup. Again, center's loaded. Really nothing else I'm going to make a case for. I will mention Isaiah Stewart is back from his suspension as well, which kind of muddies up this rotation. But Kane is good if you can afford him. And there's a lot of value here. He is reasonably owned. Other than that, not much love for me for these Pistons. How about you, Jayhawk?
Yeah, pretty much on the same page here, Nick. I think Cade perfectly fine. Spend up here in tournaments. Jalen Duren, I usually like getting to. I don't know if I love the spot here, obviously against Allen and Mobley. So it's mainly just Cade. That's about it here for me, Nick.
Yep, right there with you. This question distracted me, so I do want to bring it up. Have you heard of a shortfall resolution on FanDuel? Woke up from a nap to see a lot of money in my account than before. I'm not exactly sure. I did. This is the most degen thing I'm ever going to admit, but I was like playing a ton of basketball lines, like Vietnamese basketball, just playing live numbers, just trying to play over unders based on the math. And I got a ton of money refunded one day. They put a bunch of money in at my account. I don't know if that's the same exact thing. And again, I shouldn't spend too much time on this. But yeah, I'm wondering if it could be a stat correction. If anyone in chat wants to talk about that. But yeah, shortfall resolution occurs when account balance goes negative due to errors such as revert cash out or settlement back correction. Um, yeah, so I guess if they made an error grading anything, they could put money back in. So yeah, a bet could be reversed. It could be a human error. There's a ton of different things. Honestly, just reach out to their rep or reach out to customer service and hopefully they can help you out. Sorry, everyone, for getting sidetracked, but that's pretty interesting. I did want to tell that quick story of betting Vietnamese basketball and getting all of the money refunded, even though I was winning. Anyway, let's move over to Cleveland now. Looking at Cleveland, no Donovan Mitchell tonight, obviously going to be significant. I think Spaniard mentioned no Dean Wade. Max Strus is going to be out here as well. Pretty interesting spot. James Harden is on the cover of our video here today as the thumbnail. But he's been kind of okay. I don't mind getting to him a little bit. I will say he feels under-owned here. Historically, when Harden's like the Robin to a Batman, whenever the main guy's out, he tends to crush. But this is a really tough matchup. They're going to key in on him on defense. And even with Mitchell out, I do think he's going to be playing more of that point guard role. That being said, 3 straight games where he's taken 7 threes. He's been shooting okay. I like him as a tournament play. I'm fine mixing him in. That's pretty much it for me. The minutes on Mobley are up a little bit. Allen has been really solid, but more so when Mobley's out. So again, I don't mind mixing in some Harden here. Other than that, not much I'm really interested in for Cleveland. This game feels like a better one to watch than it is to play in DFS today. Jayhawk, how do you feel about the Cavs?
Yeah, definitely with you on that take. I think overall, I think Mobley would be my favorite on FanDuel. I know he's the chalkiest, but kind of a tougher spot, I think, for Harden. We did see, like, the last time these two teams played, Dennis Schroeder did kind of get hounded by Azar Thompson. Could maybe see something similar to Harden tonight. So it's mainly just Mobley for me on FanDuel.
Yeah, I don't hate it, man. Jose, whoever got that money, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Just keep it moving. Yeah, I mean, there's a fair point. You can check your transaction log. Usually they'll show like plus number with green. It'll say why. If it just says windfall adjustment is what it is. But hey, if you got money, why not just play it? You should be fine. Next matchup here, very significant one for this slate. Almost obnoxiously so. We got the Wizards taking on the Magic. Magic, huge favorites here at home. 227.5 point total, starting with the Wizards, who are on a back-to-back. No AD, no Kaishan George, no Anthony Gill, D'Lo, Sar, Vukcevic, Jameer Watkins, Cam Whitmore, or Trae Young, who will be making his Wizards debut for whatever reason on Thursday. Pretty interesting spot, man. Last night we got to a bunch of them. Tonight they only have 9 guys available. I think who's out that wasn't. It's George and Watkins, I think, and Watkins actually played pretty well. We've seen a lot of ownership going to this team. I think Jaden Hardy's interesting. He's probably going to come off the bench. The issue with playing these guys is that the minutes haven't really been there consistently. But you can make a case for pretty much anyone. That being said, I would rather just play the cheap guys because for them to fail, they really have to do nothing, a la what Will Riley did last night. But yeah, like if you're playing the Carringtons, you're playing the Champagnes, like there is a floor for them in that 5 to 6K price range. So I like Hardy here. I don't mind him at all. We'll get to a little bit of Sharif Cooper. Bilal Coulibaly absolutely crushed in limited minutes yesterday. I do think he's a decent shout, especially on FanDuel where you have the stock upside. And as I say that, I'm looking at the DK price, 4,800 again for him. Low owns, I like it. I'm fine going back to Riley. Julian Reese, kind of disappointing yesterday, but he was on the floor. He is the true center for that team. They really don't have anyone else that is a center. And honestly, Julian Reese isn't really a center, but is what it is. Man, there's a lot to talk about here. Just to quickly summarize, I like Hardy. I like Cooper. I'm fine going back to Riley. I like Reese on DK where you could play two centers. On FanDuel, I like him as well. Kind of shocked he's not more popular. He's power forward only. Jayhawk, how do you feel about the Wizards?
Yeah, shockingly, Nick, this is the first slate. Feels like forever. I actually kind of like the Wizards here. I think you mentioned it, like Hardy and Cooper. I think they both look really good in tournaments. Both should get a bunch of minutes here, even in a kind of widespread game here. And then Julian Reese, man, yeah, I have to go back there. Dirt cheap, only needs probably 15 plus DK points, I think, at his price. So like Reese, like the young guards there. And then did you have any interest in, I might sound crazy, but Leaky Black down here, 2% owned as like a pivot to those guys?
Yeah, I pulled the comment from Cards here. He is declaring leaky black season. I feel fine. Like as a pivot, I think he makes sense. It is a little bit crazy that Hardy is almost 30% owned and guys like Black and Trey are unowned. Like, I think you want to have maybe two Wizards in a lot of lineups, but it's tough to know exactly which ones you're going to want. Looking at the projected minutes, Riley has the most. He played 30 plus last night. I think he's going to be good to go there again. Shot terribly, really didn't touch the ball much at all. With no Kaishan George, I think his rates go up in a big way. So he's pretty safe here. Reese, as bad as he was, is going to be on the floor. But again, I don't think there's a reason really to knock any play for these Wizards. Other than, like I said, maybe if you're playing the 5K guys, they're not going to get enough minutes. So Black, only 3,600 on DK, 37 on FanDuel. Take a shot on him. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to get there, but I just wanted to shout it out. Just one of them.
Yeah, Powered saying, watch me score even fewer fantasy points tonight. I mean, it's
Oh boy.
possible, man. A little bit shell shocked against Houston, but the matchup with Orlando, going to use that as a segue, does get a little bit better here. No Wendell Carter Jr., he's already been ruled out. We also have no Franz Wagner or Anthony Black here for the Magic. They're pretty thin. Obviously, that's going to be a boost to both Bonchero and Bane. We had a mention of Tristan Da Silva from Unicorn here in the chat. He looks pretty good here as well. Carter's still in the model, which I pulled up on the screen. All the more reason to get behind the paywall, guys. This data probably already updated. I'm not going to do it here, though, for the sake of the show. But they did go ahead and flip Tyus Jones to your Nuggets. So the guard depth is a little bit interesting now. Javon Carter, former Bull, is going to be the backup point guard. He's getting some love here. Don't mind him, honestly, as a pivot off of someone like a Jaden Hardy in this same game coming off the bench. Probably get some run in a blowout as well. But different than the Wizards, even with guys out, this team is carrying, I think, 12 or 13 bodies with them. So it's going to be very difficult to project the minutes for the cheap guys. But with Carter out, I think we're probably, hopefully, going to see Mo Wagner get the start at center. He's going to look really, really good here. Already in the model, pre-update, 3,400 on DK, 3,800 on FanDuel. Forward eligibility over there. If he's the starting center, I absolutely love it. Goga is with the team. So that gives me some pause. If he starts, he would be the guy. We're going to have to keep an eye on the starting lineup regardless. I do like Bonchero. I do like Bane. I'm fine mixing in guys like Da Silva. Suggs' minutes haven't really been there, but he could get there, I guess. But I'd rather play Carter if I'm playing a point guard for Orlando. Jayhawk, how do you feel about the Magic?
Yeah, shockingly, I mean, not shockingly, but a huge spread here in favor of Orlando. I think it all starts with Mo Wagner, Nick, assuming he does start. I think he's one of the best value plays on the board here. And then I love Paulo. I know the spread's super high, but just the overall matchup, obviously, very good here. So love Paulo in tournaments. And then I think Tristan Da Silva, pretty solid value play as well. Should get increased rebounding with Wendell out as well. So like all these guys, man. And then Desmond Bane, he's the one I kind of want to, figure out what I want to do with. I think he's solid, but I do prefer Paulo up top. Did you have any like extensive thoughts on Bane here?
Yeah, I honestly think Bane's the easiest to get to point per dollar just because Paulo's so expensive. I know you really like Paulo. Let's take Jose's question here. Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like Paulo Monchero? I mean, for me, it's probably like a 7 or 8. I do think Washington can maybe keep the game a little bit closer than we expect with a few guys out here, but not confident in that. How would you rate him 1 to 10? I do think he's a really good play. Like I said, 7, 8 ish range.
I'd probably go 8. But yeah, I think he's a pretty solid play.
Yeah, just to give some context here, if we're looking at the full slate in terms of OF index, again, this is pre 545 injury report. He rates as the he's kind of down the list a little bit further than I thought he would be. Honestly, kind of shocked. I think he's a great play here. Maybe the numbers go up with Wendell off the floor. But to see him behind guys like Mobley, Allen, I don't know that that's right. So I think we're under projecting him slightly, but the model knows things sometimes. So
Sure.
maybe Bain is the guy. To see him rating higher in OF Index a little bit surprising. That's notable as well. Unicorn letting us know Carter's out. T-Moles, we did talk about Dallas. It was very quick. There's really not much to love there in that first game. Everyone's kind of priced up, even with the injuries. They're running a pretty deep rotation. Mo Wagner, yeah, if he starts, he's a good play. I agree with you, Mari. Spanier here is that is not with the projected start. So looking at the game logs here really quick, Mo played. It's been a while since he started. Um, really have to dig. We're going back. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be able to find it and keep us on schedule. So, yeah, Mo's going to play more than 17 minutes. I'm guessing we have him for 24 or so. But with Goga back with the team, wouldn't be surprised to see him get the nod. And honestly, the Wizards center is 6'9". So proceed with caution. There is a world where they play small ball here and piss everyone off, and maybe go with someone like Isaac at the 5. I will say Isaac is going to play limited minutes. If he's in starting center, I don't think you need to play him. But there's certainly a case to be made for playing some small ball here if you are the Orlando Magic. Let's go ahead and get into the 7:30 window now. We got my Nets taking on the Miami Heat. Nets have been pretty terrible, kind of unplayable lately, is what it is. Excuse me, tonight. No Nick Claxton's available. He was on the injury report earlier. Igor is going to be out. That's kind of significant. Drake Powell down with the G League as well. So, what do I always say? Excuse me, on these net slates, if you want to play one of Igor or I can't talk, dude. Choking, trying to talk about these terrible Nets. But usually I say you can play one of Igor or Traore night to night. I think one's going to do well. Can you pick who it's going to be? Probably not. Tonight with no Igor, I actually think Traore is a really interesting play. We have him pushing 30 minutes. No one's rostering him. Looks pretty good in terms of value rating in the model, pushing a 14 on FanDuel, a little bit lower on DK. But I don't mind him in tournaments. You can mix in a little bit of Wolf, a little bit of MPJ. If this game stays close, it's likely Porter Jr. keeping it there. Not a good matchup for Claxton, in my opinion. But yeah, Traore to me, kind of an interesting tournament dart. Not much else I like from these Nets. And excuse me, guys, for choking on this team. It's just they're terrible. Jayhawk, go ahead.
Yeah, Nick, pretty much on the same page here with Brooklyn. I think in a close game, there's some appeal for MPJ here. And then I'm fine with the Traore shout. After that, like Claxton, I think we have better center plays. Danny Wolf, I'm kind of questioning the ownership there. So to me, it's mainly just MPJ for the most part.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think that ownership holds now that we have the Orlando news. Like, I would be shocked. I think whoever starts for Orlando, and even if they don't start a center, is going to take up a lot of that ownership. Over on the Miami side of things, no Jovic. We also have no Norm Powell. Excuse me. Okay, I think I can finally talk now. Had a tickle in my throat. We are good to go, but great matchup here for Bam. Heroes minutes are up. I don't mind getting to him. Wiggins, Larson, you can make a case for either. I will mention Davion Mitchell, who's missed some time, is back. I like Bam. I think the ceiling's there if you want to mix him in. Not really going to call anyone on this team a priority. As bad as the Nets are on defense, they do slow things down, which kind of hurts the upside of their opponents. Also, always a little bit of a blowout risk, too. Don't mind Bam. You can mix in Hero. I think Wiggins' point per dollar is fine as well. Those three are fine. Larson has a ceiling. Jay, how do you feel about the Heat?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just pretty similar to the field here. I think they're all fine tournament stabs. The guy that I actually was getting the most of was Khalil Weir, super cheap. I do think he makes sense if this game does get out of hand as well. So I like taking stabs at Ware. And then Andrew Wiggins, I think, is fine as well at his price. So those were the two I had the most of. Did you have any thoughts on Ware dying?
Where? I don't know. I think we have enough other centers that I don't really want to go there. If he were to suddenly start, which they did for a little while, I think it would make some sense. He actually played really well against Houston, where they were trying to run some big lineups. Almost all of Houston's starters are 7 feet, which is ridiculous. But against the Nets, I don't think it's as necessary. And again, I think Mitchell missed some of that game, if not the whole game. So yeah, a little bit thin for me.
Okay, that's fair. I just have a little bit.
Yeah, our man Hot Billy Forever saying Big Stacy has season Nets tickets. Why does everyone love Will Riley? It's just because he's going to play 30 plus minutes a night for the Wizards, and I don't think anyone else will. No pun intended, Will Riley. But yeah, you don't have to play him, honestly. All right, enough of that game. Pretty gross there. We got the Knicks taking on the Toronto Raptors in this next one. Knicks slight favorite here on the road, 221.5 point total for New York. No Miles McBride, nothing else really significant to talk about. Not a good matchup, good defensive team. You could make a case for any of the starters. Alvarado's been boomer bust if you're desperate for a punt play. But yeah, man, no real priorities for me here. Just a healthy team against a good defense. How do you feel about the Knicks?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like you mentioned earlier with the Detroit game, kind of more of a better viewing game, I think, overall here. So mainly for New York, it's pretty much a stay away for the most part.
Yeah, let's save some time on this one. Very similar. I like that shout to the game we talked about with Cleveland and Detroit. Obviously, we don't have Harden or Cunningham in this one, but if you want to play the studs at low ownership, you're fine. On the Toronto side of things, no Colin Murray Boyles. Nothing else really significant to talk about. Podol's been back. He played great against Washington. This is not the same matchup, but honestly, don't mind mixing in a little bit on DK as a tournament play at center. He's unowned, 1% owned. We got a lot of centers around that 5K price. I don't mind it, man. I'm not really intimidated by Cat's defense right now. And if he's going to get a few more minutes than he has been, maybe pushes 28 to 30, he can really go off at no ownership. So on DK, I don't mind Podol. You could always make a case for guys like Barnes, Barrett, quickly, even Ingram. But yeah, again, just a tough matchup, two good defenses, a healthy team. Not much here for me. How about you?
Yeah, it pretty much was just Barrett for me. I just had a little sprinkle of him on DK. Outside of him, it's just like you mentioned, very difficult game to look at here.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get into the next game here. Make a pretty good time. We got the 8 o'clock game between the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Pretty interesting spot here. No Eldama. Actually, Eldama's questionable now for Memphis. KCP, Brendan Clark both out. Cedric Coward is questionable. No Edie. Taj Gibson is getting in shape. He's not available yet. Ty Jerome questionable. No John Moran. Memphis is tricky, man. Like, we know that their big players are going to be out. They're kind of tanking. If Ty Jerome's in, his price is really prohibitive now, knowing that he's not going to play more than 25 minutes. It's funny. You look at this team, no one projected over 23 minutes. That's enough for me to stay away. I do know we like our man, Maxime Prosper, but on a slate like this, only 21 minutes, probably not enough, especially if Eldama's back in the lineup. Any love for you when it comes to Memphis? One more name I will just shout out quickly here is Javon Small. If we do get word that Jerome's out, I guess you could play him, but his price came up. So not really the smash play he has been. How do you feel about the Grizz?
Yeah, 240 total here, Nick. So I wanted to get more Memphis here, but it's very difficult to like pinpoint out one of these guys. So if you want to take a stab at any of these guys, I think it's fine, but probably not for me for the most part, Nick. A pretty easy team.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating. Like we've seen guys like Pippen, Coward, like Jackson go off. Like they'll have 25 fantasy points in the first half, and they still get limited to 22 minutes. It's brutal playing this team right now. Over on the Minnesota side of things, big news: Anthony Edwards was downgraded to questionable just a few minutes before we started the stream. Yeah, if he's going to be out here, I mean, the biggest boosts are probably going to go to DiVincenzo, Randall, maybe Bones off the bench. Randall would become extremely appealing. This is already a good match for him. But yeah, I don't think Bones would start. His minutes haven't really been there since they traded for Dosumu, but I think I would like him as kind of sneaky value. Ayo really hasn't been producing at a high level with or without Edwards on the floor. So if Edwards is out, I would rank Randall first, followed by DiVincenzo, and then probably Bones for me. If Edwards is in, he's a great pay up option. Just know that there is some blowout risk here. Jayhawk, how do you feel about the Timberwolves?
Yep, pretty much on the same page. Love Randall. I love building in a bunch of, or not a bunch, but a lot of Randall here in tournaments. Great price point. So love the Randall shout. And then I do think that Dante is underpriced as well with no. And so love those two shouts. Bones, I think I want to like look into more because with Ao there, he may be a little bit worse, but still a good price point for him as well. So yeah, I think all of Minnesota is going to look a lot better here if Ant sits.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, the DiVincenzo price just feels a little bit low. Like we saw him in the mid sixes most of the year. So if Edwards is off the floor, he's actually been playing really well lately. I wouldn't mind that. Didn't really talk about Gobert, but on FanDuel, he's getting some love. Just a little bit cheap for a pretty soft matchup against this thin Memphis squad. Let's go ahead and move into the next game here. We got OKC taking on the Chicago Bulls. No surprise to see OKC as pretty big favorites. Maybe not as big a favorite as you might be thinking, though. 230.5 point total here. It's because they are resting a lot of their key pieces. No Shea Gilgeous Alexander, Isaiah Hartenstein, AJ Mitchell tonight. Jalen Williams still out as well. But with SGA out and Hartenstein out, I think we could get to a little bit of this team in a pretty soft spot. Holmgren has a ceiling. I mean, it's not like he sees a huge boost. With these other guys off the floor, though, so I'm fine with him in tournaments. But Case and Wallace, those couple weeks where SGA was out, he was going off almost every single night. This is a very soft matchup for him. I like him here against Cleveland. 33 minutes, 49 fantasy points as a starter. 35 minutes, 50 fantasy points against Toronto. I like Kaysen a lot. He is going to be popular though, so keep that in mind. You can play a little bit of Isaiah Joe, find to mix him in. Jalen Williams, always a fun option with no Hartenstein. Just keep in mind he probably doesn't start here. I think with Chet in, we see Chet at the 5, Jalen come off the bench. Even so, don't mind mixing in a little bit of Williams. I don't know, man. Revenge game for Caruso? Probably not, with just 23 minutes. He is dirt cheap. Bit surprised he's getting as much love as he is. I don't think it's crazy. A lot to like here, kind of. I will say Chet's fine, but Kaysen to me, my favorite Thunder play tonight. How do you feel about OKC?
Yeah, love OKC Nick in this spot. I think Chicago pretty good matchup here for these guys. Case and Wallace think looks awesome both sides. He's probably my favorite play overall. And then you mentioned it, Jalen Williams, fantastic play as well. I have a bunch of both of those two. And then I do have to shout out Jared McCain here, 12% owned. I think he could also benefit with SGA out off the bench. So like McCain. And then I did want to hear your thoughts on Isaiah Joe. I'm always usually more bullish, I think, than you, Nick. But I do like him as a stab as well.
Yeah, those same games that SGA was out where he was playing 30 minutes, he had a really good game against Cleveland and Toronto. Yeah, I will say I rate Joe ahead of Dort, ahead of McCain, ahead of Caruso, behind Wallace, but he's probably the easiest play to get to after Case and Wallace. And I will say this. If Jalen Williams doesn't start, I think he's a little bit overowned. So definitely keep an eye on that. He could start at the 5. But yeah, the Bulls are missing some pieces here as well. Their projected starting lineup is Yabu Selly at the 5 because there is still no Jalen Smith, no Patrick Williams for them, no Jaden Ivey, no Zach Collins either. Bulls traded away a lot of their good pieces in the deadline. We just talked about AO. We obviously have Vooch in Boston. Giddy is back. I mean, he's been playing more minutes. Not quite consistent, but his best game of the year last time out against the Milwaukee Bucks at home came in 32 minutes. If you want to mix him in here against his former team, I don't think it's crazy. A little bit surprised he's not getting a bit more love. Buzelis is fine. Yabusele, probably not tonight. He's burnt me a few times recently, even getting those starts at the 5. Nick Richards off the bench on a smaller slate. Maybe I talk about him a little bit. But honestly, man, kind of like Giddy here the more I think about it, especially if I'm playing a bunch of OKC. Other than that, not much for me from the Bulls. How about you?
Yeah, pretty much on the same page. I think Giddy probably the top play here. Matas I think is okay. Like in tournaments, 10% does seem a little bit high, but I'm with you. I think Giddy's probably my favorite. Looking at ownerships here.
Yeah, Montas has been crushing lately. The price increase on FanDuel is a bit prohibitive. It's keeping his ownership in check, though. So if you want to use him as a dart, I do not mind it at all. Taking a quick look at Chad here. Card saying Giddy season. How much Chet do you like? I mean, for me, if I was playing 3 lineups, I'd probably have him in 1. Like, he's not a core play for me, but don't mind him at all. Cards asking about Miller. I imagine that is Leonard Miller. Let's see here. Miller's been playing more minutes lately, coming off 2 excellent games. I don't mind it. No Patrick Williams, no Anthony Simons. He's getting a little bit more run. At the same time, I don't know that he's going to do what he did these last two games. I mean, looking at the stats, I think it was all stocks, right? Yeah, two blocks in both those games, and a steal the game prior, shooting lights out, 2 for 4 from three. I don't mind Miller as a dart. That's a good shout there, man. I don't know that I trust him fully. We have him for just 24 minutes. He's okay. Jayhawk, how do you feel about old Leonard Miller, former Timberwolf, right?
Yeah, former T Wolf. I do like Leonard Miller as a player and for DFS, but I think on tonight's slate I do prefer a lot of the other value plays. So do like him as a player though overall.
Yeah, Billy asking about good Grimes pivots. Honestly, Miller might be one. Honestly, maybe a little bit Isaiah Joe. Would have to look exactly in their price range. Maybe one of the bench guys for Washington. Let me see real quick. Looking at value, yeah, Joe really pops. He's much lower owned. I think he's a really good one. Tristan da Silva's ownership probably comes up. He's not a bad option. Any other Grimes pivots for you? Again, I think he can play some Quentin Grimes. He's just been terrible. If he's going to be chalk, I'm pretty comfortable getting away. But how do you feel about that one, JR?
Yeah, Grimes pivot. I would say obviously Hardy. We both like Joe. Sharif Cooper's 4K. I think he'd be fine as well. So maybe some of those guys.
Nice. With it, what else we got going here? Um, that is the Bulls there, Billy. Um, yeah, so we got the question from Jose Bataze or Wagner, whoever starts. And I honestly trust Wagner more either way, but if we do get a Goga start, I don't mind it. Let's go ahead and get into the next game here. We got the Spurs taking on the 76ers. Spurs, no Plumlee, if that matters to you. Harrison Barnes is questionable. Obviously, a guy who plays minutes doesn't really cut into many players' rates, though. Wemby looks good here if you can afford him. At the same time, I don't know that I'm going to be prioritizing him tonight. Decent matchup here. No Embiid is going to boost his upside. Obviously, the ceiling's there. Pretty popular though, and he is expensive. I kind of like to live in a little bit more balance of the lineup, maybe avoid some of the really cheap chalk, but that's pretty much it. I mean, Castle Fox have been playing well. Champagne occasionally goes for 50 fantasy points whenever no one plays him. So if you want to go there, feel free. But nothing from the Spurs I'm really rushing to. How about you, Jay?
Yeah. So kind of pre-stream, I liked Wemby. I think now with all the good value centers, I'm kind of a little bit lower, at least on DK. So fine with Wemby. I do rank him third at center, and then on FanDuel, I think he's probably my preferred spot over there with forward eligibility.
Yeah, the forward eligibility definitely helps. Over on the 76er side of things, Embiid's out. No Paul George, no Kelly Oubre. So a lot to like here as well, in spite of the very difficult matchup. So with no George or Embiid, Tyrese Maxey does look excellent. He's one of the more popular pay-ups on this slate. At home, should be good here. He had, 60 fantasy points against Miami. Seems to be shooting the ball better. Came out of the break kind of cold, but I think he's turned that corner. Edgecomb's fine. The usage on him has gone down. The minutes are always there. You're fine to mix him in. The model absolutely loves Andre Drummond here, even against Wemby. So if you want to take a few shots there in tournaments, I don't think it's crazy. At the same time, I mean, I don't know. It's a little bit surprising to me how much it likes it, likes him. Excuse me. Grimes is the talking point, though, right? If he's going to be starting here, he's good at his value. I just think there are so many other plays at that price. We mentioned a few of them that you could pivot to. If he's pushing 40%, like he had one great game against the Timberwolves this year. I mean, prior to the All Star break, a couple others sprinkled throughout, but just never a guy I trust because he is so scoring dependent. Jayhawk, how do you feel about the Sixers? For me, it's really just Maxi, and if I play enough lineups, I'll probably mix in a little Drummond just to tail the model there. But how do you feel about this team?
Yeah, pretty much agree. It's mainly Maxi here. I think it's easy to get up to him. Yeah, very good spot. So love Maxi. And then I do like Edgecombe a little bit more than Grimes at the ownership, I think. So like Edgecombe a lot in tournaments. And then Quinn Grimes, I'm with you. I think probably my play will come, to come in underweight here to Grimes overall. So yeah, pretty much on the same page.
Yeah, man, while you were talking, I pulled up Edgecombe. 4 straight games over 40 fantasy points at 6,600 on DK, sub 20% owned. That's an excellent play. So, especially in lineups maybe where you're not getting to Maxi, and even in the lineups where you are, if you can put up 40 at that price, that's very, very useful tonight. So, do not mind him at all. Also viable on FanDuel as well. But we did it, man. We got through the game by game. If you guys have any other questions or we missed anything, feel free to ask us or let us know. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get into this dummy build. I don't think we have the Magic lineup yet, so it's tough to really know who our punt at center is going to be. We did just get word that Anthony Edwards is a true game time decision, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Man, I know you want to go with Reese. I think we're getting a cheap center from this game either way, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I think so.
Man, how would you like? I honestly think if Wagner starts, I want him over Reese. If it's Goga though, I think it's more of a conversation. And we're starting at center. We're starting at this game. We're starting with the punt. Who do you want? I want to put in Wagner, but I do want to include the caveat: if he doesn't start, maybe
Yeah,
back out of that.
100%, Nick. I think if he doesn't start, we want to get off him. So I'm fine plugging him in for now, but we'll wait and see what happens there with the starting
Yeah,
lineup.
and again, we're plugging him in here. If it's Goga, Goga's cheaper. If neither start, like I said, and they go small ball, you could start Reese there in the same game for a little bit cheaper. So either way, we'll try to squeeze some value out of that spot. I did mention earlier Diabate is the center. I don't want to really lock in the second utility spot now though. Sorting by ownership, and again, this was pre 545. I don't want to play the Grimes shock. I do like Wallace. Um,
I like
I
Wallace
don't
too.
know. Throw some names out. I'm going to throw in Wallace and Edgecombe. Tell me who else you
Okay.
want to get in here.
I like those. I want to get in. Well, I was gonna say maybe De Silva. I have a lot of him. I think we could get one of the cheap Washington guards, Hardy, or where's he at here? The other guy, Cooper. One of those guys.
Yeah, I kind of lean Hardy. At the same time, it's like I don't know. I mean, Cooper's been good, but playing even less minutes. I'm
Yeah,
fine either way. It's like that's why I'm saying like I don't know that I want to be paying up for the Wembys or the K's of the world tonight, just because I don't love this really cheap value. Like maybe we come back to this. Let's try to go a little balance, like not
let's do it.
to disagree. And I'm just curious to see where this goes. All right, who else are we throwing in here? If not the obvious, um,
What's
I don't
a
think Drummond's. Go ahead.
what's Jay Will's price? Jalen Williams. Did you like him tonight?
I do, but I'm concerned he doesn't start.
Okay.
In which case, I'd probably want to back off. For now, we could throw him in
Okay.
5100. There should be some pivots there. That's a pretty good shout. I'll get him in.
And then I did want to kind of touch on Minnesota. If we think Ant sits, is there anyone that like you really like at
It
their
would be
prices?
DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo.
Yeah, and let's see if we go with him and he's in. Do we have any pivots? Not really. But let's go ahead and put him in. I like him a
Okay.
lot. You should be able to find something there if you need it. 79 per left, man. And again, we're not playing the gross value. We're still able to play some like mid range payups. Like I think Bane is excellent. The model absolutely loves him. I'll throw him in there.
I like it.
I don't know that I want Banchero in the same lineup. Oh, the other guy would be Randall, right?
Yeah.
If Ant's out.
Yeah, Randall looks great. I think that price point. I know Randall hasn't been great all season, but no Ants, he should be pretty good.
Yep, and let me talk you guys through this quickly. So let's go ahead and put DiVincenzo and Randall in. If Edwards is ruled in, you could almost upgrade to Edwards, but you could also upgrade that guard spot and downgrade Randall
Yeah,
to something a little bit cheaper. Just know that you have that 2 for 2 available if you're putting both into your lineups. We got Bam against my Nets. I mean, sure, I think he crushes here.
yeah, I'm fine with that low and
Something like this looks good. But again, guys, keep an eye on news, keep an eye on lineups. Like we talk about things that we think are going to happen, but especially this time of year, coaches are throwing us curveballs. So yeah, don't be surprised if Jonathan Isaac gets a start or I don't know, it's some backup you're hoping for isn't in the starting lineup. Just proceed with some caution in that way. Over on FanDuel, let's start with a few of the obvious guys. I'll throw in Williams. I'll throw in Paulo. I'll throw in Kaysen. Maybe Maxi too.
yeah, I like it. It should be pretty easy to get these guys in over on FanDuel.
Yeah. Wallace price just came down. Who else did I say? Maxi, why not? I do like Jay Will. Again, if he comes off the bench, he's still fine. Just I don't know, not as safe if he's gonna stay chalk. Center, are we going with Mr. Angel or who did you want here?
Man, center's always more difficult, man, on FanDuel because there's only one. I think let's go with your gut call here because I don't really have a conviction FanDuel center play.
Yeah, I want to play some Diabate tonight. The price isn't great. like these two, I will say in tournaments on both sides, Diabate and Podol to me really stand out today. Um, but if we're going cheap, it's probably where's Wagner? Wagner is forward eligibility. Oh, but look, we could go Reese at forward. I guess we just double punt, and if if Wagner's out, then we're gonna have to get a little bit creative. But for now, we can kind of pay up. Um, I don't know. Giddy's fine. Edgecomb's good. Anyone else that we're missing that you really like?
Um, let's plug in this. I guess we can't play De Silva, can we? Is De Silva small forward eligible?
Yeah, he should be. I don't hate it. Again, another guy I want to see starting. I expect he will, though. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. Honestly, Harden at low ownership looks pretty good to me. And we can still fit Giddy, something like this.
I like it.
Obviously, if you don't like Harden, you could pivot with that Giddy spot. But having two payups there gives you a lot of flexibility. And also, again, if we don't get Mo starting or you don't want to play Reese, use some of the salary we're using on the shooting guards, I think, to get different. I think that's the way to do it. Favorite under today? Uh, in general, like for a prop or I guess for a game, man, this is tough. Do you have an under in mind?
Man, off the top of my head, I don't know if I do. I'd have to look into that. Is there anything that like really sticks out to you?
This might be bad. I kind of think Detroit Cleveland stays under because Mitchell's out. Harden likes to play a half court ball. I don't think we're going to see as much transition for the Cavs as usual. And Mobley's in too, so maybe that slows them down a little bit. I don't like that. You can maybe play under on some of the props for Memphis just because none of them are going to play more than 20 minutes. But yeah, that's kind of where
Sure.
I'm at on that. Yeah, John, check out Memphis. If anyone's props seem inflated, maybe that's the way to go. Just the issue is Ty Jerome's questionable. If he's out, it's going to boost some guys. But I don't know. I think you could go with like, let's see, Cedric Coward if he's in some of his unders. Um, Pretty much any Memphis unders I'm with. I just think the matchup's tough against the Timberwolves. It's a high total, which should put those numbers up a little bit. But again, if no one's going to play more than 25 minutes, I think they're probably inflated. What else we got going here? Barnes, I think you're talking about Harrison. If that's Scotty, that's going to be tricky. Who plays it in small ball? Might be Isaac, might be Paulo. Again, that's why we got to kind of have to wait and see on that one Spaniard. If they start a small ball lineup, it wouldn't be either. But Wagner's like, I don't know, he's kind of undersized as a true five. I think it will be Wagner, and we're going to like him.
Yeah,
Um,
and it
yeah,
was it was Harrison Barnes. Good call, Nick. I thought it might have been Scotty too, but you're
yeah. If it was Scotty, that would have been much more impactful. Obviously, we made it to 6:30. We covered everything right up against the deadline here. I think is Smitty in Discord today.
right. I think I may be going back to back one more night.
All right. Well, either way, we got you covered in Discord. Appreciate you guys as always tuning in. Check out the links in the description below. On your way out, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Keeps this free content coming out to you on a regular basis. But yeah, again, keep an eye on lineups, not just the news. This time of year, things do get weird. But have fun tonight. Take care. Good luck.
Good luck, guys.